Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I really have to tell you this story. I recently met a young man who is one of the best critical thinkers I've ever encountered. I mean, it was astonishing to see his mind work and to see the way he problem solved, pinging from this solution to that solution, going back and forth, negation of negation. It was one of the best minds I've ever watched. And so a theory emerged, and I said, how are you at judging people? And he said, oh, I don't judge people. And I was like, I knew it. And he said, oh, how'd you know? And I said, because the brain uses so much energy with thinking critically that it really doesn't like to waste energy on judging folks. And I said, I bet you just assume that everybody is good until they show you otherwise. And he went, man, how did you know that? He said, I literally have a saying that everybody is good until you show me otherwise. And he said, it gets me into trouble. I said, yeah, it would, because you don't distinguish between from one person to the other person in terms of their goodness. You just assume that we all are good and all have potential for good. He said, yeah, but it gets me into trouble. I get used by people who know that I'm not judging that way, and and I said, no. They're not thinking that way. They just are who they are, and you're not looking for it. And I said, now you're going to find out the proper use for boundary. And he said, what? And I said, people usually say, I put up my boundaries to keep you out of here, blah, blah, blah. Boundaries really are for you. If you have a certain behavior that you kind of can't control, or that you don't want to spend time controlling, then you need the boundary for you. And he said, oh, okay. And he said, which boundary should I put up? I said, well, you put a boundary up for who you're going to interact with, how you're going to interact, how far you interact, when you interact with them, what you're going to do with those folks, because you're not going to determine one from the other. And so therefore, if people are not bringing the kind of energy that you're bringing to a thing, then you need to kind of slow down. And he was like, oh my God, you solved my biggest problem. I love to think like this. I love to work hard. I love to get done what needs to get done. But sometimes I include all kinds of folks, and they don't want to do their part, and they don't want to have any say in it, and they don't want to do their stuff. And I was like, no, young man, you just solved my problem. I love sharing stories because when you do, you always get something that you need. I love you.